Without anything to talk about on Christmas Eve, you would be wrong. Welcome to a 2-hour holiday edition of NFL Now on NFL Network from our newsroom in Los Angeles. Good morning. Happy holidays to you. Good afternoon back east. I'm Andrew Siciliano. Coming up, as long as he does not get stuck in the chimney, Marshawn Lynch is showing up for Christmas in Seattle. We'll have the details. We're also going to hear from Jason Garrett as the Cowboys now need help to make the playoffs, and we have the new power rankings. I'm guessing the Cowboys are moving down in those. Dan Hanzus here a little bit later. Let's get the news, though, from around the National Football League, and let's open up with what is new right now, and it is Marshawn Lynch. The announcement came from his agent, Doug Hendrickson, in the fourth quarter of the Monday night game last night. He is back, and he has a one-year contract to play for the Seahawks. It's really kind of a one-year contract. That's a one-day contract and a one-week contract, but you continue into the postseason as well. This is from Mom on Twitter. Congratulations to my son for being the true warrior. Go, Sean. It's going to be great to watch you enjoy your craft. Marshawn Lynch's mom, excited. I think everyone in Seattle is excited. I think everyone getting ready for game 256 on Sunday night is excited. I'm excited these guys are working Christmas Eve. Mike Garafolo, Tom Pelissero. Gentlemen, hello to you both. Mike, start with you. How this whole thing came together, because it wasn't just a guys get injured on Sunday, let's call Marshawn. This has been in the works for a couple of weeks now.
A couple of weeks. I'm going to top that. How about a couple of months, at least on Marshawn Lynch's end? The Seahawks were aware that this is something that once it was clear to him that he was not going back to Oakland, that he would be interested in if the opportunity presented itself. I had actually heard these rumblings all the way throughout and was told, watch out for Marshawn back in Seattle if the opportunity presents itself. Now, they had a deep backfield, and they had a guy in Chris Carson who was basically the hammer for them. So not necessarily a need to bring in Lynch if you already had that type of inside physical runner. But he's gone, and Rashad Penny's gone, and they have a lot of holes to fill inside that backfield, which is why they brought in Lynch and Robert Turbin as well. That's a pretty good story as well, but we're forgetting about that because we're so focused on Marshawn Lynch. But the Seahawks kept that on the edges, the periphery of their radar for a couple of months and said, hey, all right, we never know. We'll see, Marshawn. We'll see what happens. And then once the opportunity presented itself this week, both sides made this thing happen in a hurry.
Yeah, they did, and he enjoyed his summer. He showed up at a Raiders camp. We saw him there for TNF. I saw him with the Rams and his cousin Marcus Peters in Hawaii when they played the Cowboys there as well. But, Tom, really the last couple of weeks, and you're writing about this right now, good piece on NFL.com, he has really gotten serious here, maybe after the Rashad Penny injury. We got some videos here of him like getting punched in the stomach to get ready. What's he doing?
This is Marshawn Lynch's longtime coach, Tariq Azim, who has trained him for years down at his Empower gym in San Francisco. You talk about that initial meeting, the visit that Marshawn Lynch had to the Seahawks facility back on December 12th. That came just a few days after Rashad Penny was injured. Well, after that, Marshawn realized this might actually happen. So how do you make up for not getting hit in 14 months? You have somebody hit you a lot. This is one of the core workouts they did at the end of every session, double days, 16 sessions over 8 days, trying just to escalate this process. A lot of muscular and cardiovascular endurance work. But as Azim told me, we went hood in our preparation. They can't actually replicate what it's like to be on the field. This is just the first step, trying to activate his body to be ready for some of those scenarios. But Azim is realistic about this, saying that the true test is going to be this week. But if anybody can do it, that's why they call him beast mode, right?
Yeah, that's why they call him beast mode. You get punched in the stomach. That's how you get ready. I understand it. He didn't go through a training camp. He hasn't practiced all season. He hasn't played. He hasn't been on the field since week 6 of 2018. So with all that in mind, it's one thing to get hit in the stomach at a gym, Mike. Is he actually going to get hit on the field on Sunday? If he plays, let's assume he plays. I mean, can we really expect him to get a big workload?
I believe it's a possibility, and I was told maybe upwards of 10 carries for Marshawn Lynch. So let's see how this goes. They want to make sure that they don't overwork him, and then all of a sudden you've got that groin issue that he's had in the past. You got something like that. They want to see what they can do with him this week. Teams aren't in pads at this time of year during practice, so that's going to be a problem. But they think that this is a guy that you can always kind of plug in right now, especially with those intense workouts, and get him going right away.
I mean, this isn't Andrew Luck retiring, don't get me wrong, but this is one of those things where if a month ago you said, hey, what if I told you Marshawn Lynch would get 10 carries in the final game of the season on Sunday Night Football with the NFC West title on the line? For the Seahawks, right. For the Seahawks. And Robert Turbin, as you said, Mike, who hasn't been there since 2014. He bounced around Cleveland, Indy. Now he is back in Seattle. All right, Tom, stay there. I want to get your thoughts on the game you went to last night, the Monday night game. Let's get, however, to a different topic and the fact that it is now basically official. J.J. Watt has a chance to come back. J.J. Watt was designated today as the player eligible to return from injured reserve for the Texans.
Yeah, I feel extremely excited about being able to be back on the practice field with the guys. It's the medical team here has done a great job, and there's obviously an element of risk involved as well that I understand and we understand. But to me, the opportunity to play in the playoffs, the opportunity to try and help this team win football games, it's just, there's nothing that I want more, and there's nothing that it's built into me. I want to be on the field with the guys, and I feel really good. We've worked extremely hard at rehab. We've had a very smooth process, and everything's been going extremely well. So I'm really, really excited to get back on the field with everybody and to be back out there helping my team and playing for the city.
All right, when Ian had this story, Mike, a couple of weeks ago, I think people raised their eyebrows when really he's coming back. I mean, he played 7 games. He tore a pec. That was October. You're done for the year.
Yep.
Well, he's back. He's back practicing. He admitted today, though, this is a bit of a risk here.
It's a 3 to 4 month injury usually. So if you come back, there's a chance that maybe it doesn't take. But the downside of this is that he won't be put any further behind than he already was. It would just restart the process for him, restart the timeline for J.J. Watt. So he's willing to risk that and the possibility of undergoing another surgery for the chance to play in the playoffs. Andrew, it's the old thing. It's the old saying, if the playoffs started this week, maybe the guy could play. Well, the playoffs are about to start. So, yeah, maybe the guy could play. And to have a player like this come in, not only is going to help them from a schematic standpoint, from an X's and O's standpoint, but think about the lift that you're going to get. You're going to line up on defense. You're going to look over there and say, that's J.J. Watt. We just got J.J. Watt added right now. So they're willing to risk this. He's willing to risk this. Let's see where it goes as he works through practice. But, boy, what a boost this would be.
Yeah, what a boost it would be for the Texans, who are likely hosting that wild card game potentially against the Bills next week, although that can still move around. Buffalo locked in, though, as the 5. Thank you, Mike Garafolo, there with the latest on J.J. Watt.
That we did have something that could be special, but like I just told Matt, nobody expected us to be in this position, to be 12-3, to win the North. Other than James Jones, probably, there's not many people who thought this was possible, just with so many moving pieces and new players and a new scheme. That feels pretty good, for sure.
We've got a resilient group, a group that doesn't blink, doesn't flinch in tough times, and sticks together. And that's what we talk about all the time. And it's a credit to that locker room, and I couldn't be happier to be their coach. So with that, it's a tough place to come into, too, and play. The crowd is electric, and we knew it was going to be tough. And that's a damn good football team. So just real happy for our guys. That was one of our goals, is to win the division, but I think there's more out there for this football team, and now it's time to reassess those goals and move forward.
Well, here's what it is for Green Bay. Right now, the 2 seed, so they can clinch a bye with a win or a Saints loss. They can get to number 1 with a victory and a 49er loss to the Seahawks on Sunday night. The Vikings, they are the 6th seed. That's not going to change. The only question is, where do they go, and who is the 3 seed? Tom Pelissero was at that game late night, back with us now on NFL Now. Let's give credit to the Packers here, Tom. We talked yesterday about how they haven't really been wowing anybody offensively. Well, they won yesterday without an Aaron Rodgers touchdown and with a pick. No touchdowns,